Next, into the repair shop, Graham Hinson and his sister Janet.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
They're here to see master saddle maker Suzie Fletcher, the repair shop's leather expert.
I have a belt which used to belong to my late father. It's an army belt.
Oh, my word.
But it's a very delicate army belt.
Right.
And there's quite a story to this. My father served during the Second World War and was part of the D-Day landings, which took him through Belgium, Holland, eventually into Germany, in Fallenbostel prisoner of war camp.
Fallenbostel was a Nazi prisoner of war camp, and Graham and Janet's father was part of the Allied forces who liberated the camp in 1945.
My father was part of the Army Catering Corps, and one day, out of the tree line, came a German soldier with his hands up. The chap was arrested and taken into custody, but Dad was given the responsibility of looking after him, feeding him, and as it later transpired, when the chap was moved on, he gave this to my dad. So we assume this was the chap's army issue belt, which he's carved for my father.
Whilst he was a prisoner of war?
Whilst he was a prisoner of war in Fallenbostel camp, with whatever rudimentary tools he had.
That's my next question, is how
he made the
did he make
this? I've no idea.
This is a beautiful work of art.
It is. It's really, really lovely.
So I'm just completely blown away by this. It's so beautiful. The prisoner of war, do you know his name?
France, that's all we know.
Okay.
Yeah. And the belt actually has an inscription, souvenir from France.
Okay.
I think they formed quite a friendship, didn't they?
I think so. I can imagine him feeling sorry for this chap.
Yeah.
And showing him kindness. He was that type of person. Absolute 100% gentleman. Kindness oozed from him.
Such an emotional story.
It is an emotional story. Dad loved this belt so much that it was the one thing he kept from the war.
And he constantly wore it, day after day.
It didn't matter what the function was, this was the belt.
To the point where it almost disintegrated, and he tried himself to do some repairs on it so he could continue wearing it.
So did your father and Franz continue their friendship after the war?
He never mentioned that. I think when Dad came home, he just went about his normal life or tried to get back to some normality. But this was a happier moment for him, obviously.
And to think, you know, the opposite sides can form friendships.
I know.
It's a lovely thing.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, it gives you hope in the human race, doesn't it?
Great.
It really does. And just the amount of work that's in this is just phenomenal. It is so intricate. We've got these tiny, tiny little flowers.
Yes.
And to get that shape of the petals with rudimentary tools, we're talking about incredibly difficult.
Even the inscription, getting the scroll and the inscription done as well.
What would you ultimately like me to do?
Well, we talked about that, didn't we? And we think between us, we'd like to take it back to the military museum at Fallenbostel, where I think Dad would like it to be.
Well, I will get on with it.
Look forward to that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for bringing it in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
OK, bye-bye.
It brought a lot of memories back of Dad
And us as children with him.
Yeah.
And I think if we can carry that story through and hopefully get the belt to some sort of point where it can continue its travel and memory, and we can leave it to rest where it originated from.
We have a tear at this point here, which I've got to stabilise. It's about to break. It is so incredibly fragile. I'm amazed it didn't break whilst we were examining it when Graham and Jan brought it in. As a master saddle maker, this is very intricate work, very skilled work. So I have a little bit of pressure on here to get this job as stable as possible for prosperity and to do Franz justice.